Hey, what's up guys? My name is Dan Coconati, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new song called LINOLEUM by Girlfriends. Now, this song is in standard tuning, so that means your strings are going to be E, A, D, G, B, and E. So get yourself a tune, and then we're going to get started on this lesson. Alright, main riff of LINOLEUM. So it's pretty basic and it's kind of progressed throughout the entirety of the song. So once you get this riff down, you're gonna have a good solid chunk of this song, because after this, we just got a little bit of chord action and one other fill really, so we can do this. Alright, so the main riff though, it's gonna be 2nd fret of the E. Hopefully you can see that okay. 2nd fret, and then an open on the A string. So, and then it goes right back to the 2nd fret of the E string. So 2nd, open on the E, back to 2nd of the E. Okay, and then the next little chunk is open on the A, and then 4th of the A, and then open again. Okay, and you're really just going between open and 4 of the A there. So first chunk is 2nd to open to 2nd. Okay, open, 4, open. So okay, and then the next chunk is going to be open now of the E. Okay, so open of the E to 2nd fret of the A to open on the E. And then the last part is going to be a 2nd of the A up to the 1st of the D, and then back to your 2nd, back to the 1st, and then finish on the 2nd. So all together. So real quick, if you're having a hard time kind of just sticking in the one position, maybe you want to just play it all on one string. I did kind of transpose this real quick to just have it, all on one string if you want to play it this way as well. So you could do a... Okay, so real quick, what is that? That's just going to be all on the E string, okay? So if you're not really doing the best of, kind of jumping in between strings, you can actually play it all on just one string here, or your E string, okay, your lower E. So second way to play the riff is going to be 2nd to 5 to 2nd, okay, so, and then up to 5. So 5 to 9 now. And you're just going in between 5 and 9, so. And then open of the E. And then right there, so open to 7 of the E. And then 7 to 11. Okay, now that's just another way to play the riff in case you are having difficulty, kind of jumping or picking in between those strings. So again, if you want to play a different version or, an alternate method of the riff, it's... Okay, as opposed to, whatever's easier for you. Again, if you're having difficulty kind of playing in between the strings there, maybe try out the second method, because then you're just literally all on one singular string. So either way works, it's the same notes, but just figured I would toss that in there. Okay, so this is our first fill, and that fill really, it stays the same, except I think that we just switch it to like a... so you're just kind of skipping some notes there, and I think that they just change it ever so slightly before the chorus is what it was sounding like to me. So, all right, the first little fill though, we're looking at a 10th fret, okay, of the B string. So, okay. and then you go down to your 9th fret of the B. So again, 10th, and then back to the 10th. So 10 to a 9 to a 10. And then it goes, so then that's just 10, 9, 7 to a 9 of the G. So, and then you go right back to a 7th of the B. So, and then the second half of this riff, it goes 9th fret of the B. So 9 to a 7 on the B. And then 11, 9, and 8 of the G. Okay, so 11, 9, 8, and then you finish on a 9 of the D. Okay, so first half is, okay, and then the second half again. Okay, and again that last little, just 11, 9, 8 of the G, and then you finish on a 9 of the D. Okay, so all together. Okay, so the chorus chords, and you know, again, it's kind of being progressed throughout the entirety of the song, and you know, just in the background of even the main riff. So, what are the chords here? So we're looking at a F sharp power chord. So an F sharp power chord is going to be 2nd fret. Okay, of your E with the 4th fret of the A and a 4th fret of the D. And then it goes right into an A, okay? So that's just, you know, another power chord, or I mean, you could even play it here if you really want to. But so again, 2nd, and so that 2nd chord, if you don't know what an A chord is, you're playing an open on your A string, 2nd fret of the D, okay? And then the 2nd fret of the G. Okay, so open, 2, 2. Really trying to paint a picture. Okay, so. Okay, and then that, you're just gonna take that down. Now it's gonna be an E minor. Okay, so now instead of the open on the A, right, it's gonna be open on the E, and then a 2nd and a 2nd, okay, of the A and the D. So you're playing it open, 2nd, 2nd. So instead of it just comes down, 1. Hopefully you're seeing that. So those 3. And then the last one, okay, it's just a B chord. So B power chord is going to be 2nd fret of the A, and then a 4th fret, okay, of the D. Okay, and that's your 4 chords there. So this is just kind of another reiteration. Like I said earlier, they do that first fill that it changes ever so slightly, and then they do have like a 2nd guitar playing that little kind of going over the other music dubs there. So just so you got that riff as well in your pocket, it is just a sliding up, okay, of the B string. So again, you're on your 10th fret, sliding on up to the 10th, kind of sliding. Really, I mean, it's just kind of like wherever you want, but I mean, I think I'm typically kind of grabbing it from like the 7th fret here. And then right to a 9, so 10 to a 9. Okay, and then, okay, and that's just a sliding up to your 11th then of the G, and then finishing on the 9 of the G. So again, we got 10 and 9 on the B for that whole thing. And then you finish 11 to the 9 on the a G. Thank you guys so much for checking out this guitar tutorial on the song called Linoleum by Girlfriends. If this helped you out and you were able to learn the song, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and be ready for more future guitar videos. Thanks.